Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today got a quick post-comm for you in the NU tier, using a team that is fairly try-hardish, but it's actually involving a lot of threats that I have either not used at all or have very rarely used, around a few things that I have used a lot and am quite comfortable using. I do intend to session with this team. I'm actually part way through recording a session with this team, and this game was going to be part of that. Unfortunately, my computer had other ideas, and midway through recording the subsequent game in what was going to be the third episode of the session, my laptop, as it so often does, decided to turn itself off. Which was annoying, but I did manage to get it back on and get back onto Showdown just in time to salvage this replay so that I could post-comm the game. I was actually really proud of it. I thought my prediction game was fairly on point throughout this game. I'm going to go through the team I'm using very quickly because, as I say, when I session with this I'll go into more detail. What we've got is a moderately offensive AV Torkoal, Spedef Mantine, Setup Lilligant, Scarfed Evire, Fizdef Wheezing, and of course your common or garden Guts Swellow. On my opponent's side, I see potential for Evire to do work as long as the Golurk goes. He's got a fairly bulky set of mons right there, and a few nasty powerful threats in the form of Sork and Typhlosion. So, I figured our opponents, Nito Sensen, would possibly lead with the Golurk or the Typhlosion, so I went with Mantine. So, without further ado, let's see what happened. So I lead with Mantine. He in fact leads with the Cradilly. This is fine. I'm going to be able to drop a toxic early game on that Cradilly, which is fantastic because he gets up his rocks. Not a problem, I have two ways of removing those, and I'm going to do one of those right now. Go for the defog as he drops his own toxic on my Mantine, but it's important that I have that Cradilly toxic. So now, I think he's probably just going to want to get on out of there, so I'm going to pull the switch into my Evire, predicting the Lapras, which is exactly what happens, and now I make another prediction. He's going to go into Golurk, as I managed to get off a big chunk with Ice Punch. I do get the fortunate freeze, but as it happens, that didn't matter, because as you'll see in the subsequent turn, I do get a nice high damage roll, take out the Golurk, and that's fantastic, because now I can Volt Switch with impunity. Here's the Sork. I don't want to take a hit. I do have a Wheezing to take on this Sork. Turns out he goes for the Earthquake, which I'm immune to. Now I predict him to switch out being choiced, and I go for the Taunt on the incoming Musharna, which is absolutely lovely to get that thing taunted. Gonna make the switch into my Mantine, which can take any hit. He goes for the Psychic, not the Psyshock, and I can take that just lovely. So here, Musharna, I'm not thinking is going to want to stay in, so I am going to pull the switch into Swellow. As it happens, he does switch out into his Cradilly. I thought that would happen, and now I'm really pressuring him. He basically has to switch out here, as I'm able to therefore get the initiative with a nice and powerful U-turn. Quarter of damage on the Lapras is always nice. Gonna be able to go into Evire here to threaten out the Lapras once again. This time I do just go for the Volt Switch. He does go into Cradilly, but once again I am going to be able to get initiative on that. And I'm going to be able to go into my Lilligant and try and set up early. I know he has the Toxic, but I figure I have Giga Drain, so that's fine. So I just go for the Quiver Dance, as he does in fact this turn drop the Toxic on me. And right now, maybe I get a bit greedy. I take the risk of going for a second Quiver. But, as we've seen before, he has the rocks, and he's going to want to get them up for my two flying types and my Torkoal. So as I go for a Quiver, he goes for another Stealth Rock. So, here, I'm going to start attacking. Nothing wants to take a +2 Giga Drain. Nothing on his team, really. I'm going to go for it. Cradilly just barely lives it, and tries to go for the Recover, trying to get Toxic Stall damage on me, and that's fine, but it's not going to save this Cradilly, who is in fact going to go down on the next turn to my Giga Drain. This is fine, down goes Cradilly, and now he's got no resistances or immunities to my Evire's Volt Switch. So in comes Sork. This thing might be scarfed. I go for the Giga Drain, it nearly takes it out, and his Ice Punch is not going to take me out in and of itself, but combination of that with the toxic damage, Lilligant is going to go down, but big damage on the Sork is nice. Going to bring in my Evire, who even if the Sork is scarfed, I will outspeed. No reason not to go for Wild Charge, it would get a big hit off if he does want to preserve this Sork. Down it goes, and here is the Typhlosion. I can't take the risk of it being scarfed just yet, so I do switch out and sack off my Mantine. I am going to be able to take the Eruption. If I was at better health, I would be able to take it really nicely, but he has no reason not to go for another Eruption. It will take me out from there, and that's absolutely fine. What this does mean is I have a free switch into Torkoal, and I opt to go for the Earth Power here in case he wants to stay in thinking he can take me out. I have no particularly good special defense, but I am AV. Earth Power and Musharna is nice, and here I'm just going to take the opportunity to spin, because Swellow is going to be important to me late game, I feel. So here comes the spin. Musharna can't take me out with any one hit, so I'm going to try and get some damage off. He goes for Psychic, I'm going to go for the Lava Plume, and that's nice damage on Musharna, you know? I'm happy with that, and I'm happy to let Torkoal go. He has no more hazard, so I don't particularly need it. Now I can go into my Swellow. Knowing that this thing is not offensive, I'm going to be able to go for a big old Facade, nice clean 50% damage. His Psychic will not take me out. It does get the Spadef drop, tripping over my words, but that doesn't matter. And here he chooses to sack off the Musharna to the next Facade, which is fantastic for me, because I live the burn, which means I get one more hit. Here comes Lapras. He has the Ice Shard, but I out-prioritise his Ice Shard with Quick Attack. Chip damage is lovely, and the Ice Shard is going to take out Mellow Swellow. But now it's time for Evire to come in and go for the Wild Charge. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm realising if this Typhlosion is Scarfed, I probably lose. Because Weezing has nominal Spadef investment, but not a lot. So, it comes down to this. Is his Typhlosion Scarfed? It is not. Either that, or it's modest-natured, and I outspeed anyway. His Eruption will not take me out from there at that low range of health. I can go for the subsequent Wild Charge and take out the Typhlosion. Evire goes down, but I do have one spare Pokemon in the form of Weezing, which gives me the 1-0 win. So, thank you for joining me for this quick little NU battle. Really good battle, had a good lot of fun with it. Expect to see this team used, hopefully in the near future, in a session whenever I can get that recorded. Other than that, on the channel, as you may know, it's just going to be PPL battles and Theme Thursdays, and the occasional battle like this or recording when I can get one done. So, that's going to be it from this video, and indeed from me. Thank you very much for watching, I do hope you enjoyed, and I guess, with that, until next time, laters.